A very good Sunday afternoon to you. You're watching KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Najma Ismail. Jubilee lawmakers have criticized governors for what they termed as failing to have a plan for the counties, hence seeing money being returned to the national government. National Assembly Majority Leader Aden Duale further accused the governors of derailing devolution. At the same time, Senators Kipchumba Murkomen and Stephen Sang have also hit out at the CORD counterparts in the upper house, accusing them of failing to play their part in operationalizing devolution.
Elimu ndio kitu ya maana. Basi kwa sababu hiyo munisaidie kitu moja, nikaambia kwamba kuna barabara lami ambayo ilikuwa imekwamia mwele nani.
As I stand here today, 38.7 billion iko katika Central Bank. Wamerudisha governors, they are not using it. 38.7 billion. And it is very shameful for you to stand before Raya. Unasema you want 40%. The 36% given to you in last budget, 38.7 billion inakaa kwa benki. Hawa mama wako na shida. Watu wa Charangani, Trans Nzoia wako na shida. Watu wa Singishu, watu wa Garissa, watu wa Mandera wako na pesa. Mbona unaweka pesa kwa county why? Na watu wako na shida. Tukiuliza unaambiwa ati Jubilee wanataka kuua ugatuzi.
Sisi wote ambao tunatengeneza bill yenye kusaidia counties hata ya kuleta pesa nyingi iende mashinani ni wa Jubilee. Sasa mimi naomba ndugu zetu wa CORD kwa Senate na National Assembly wawache mikutano ya kufanya kwa hoteli, ya kufanya kwa barabara, ya kuenda kuita rallies ku discuss devolution. Devolution, there are institutions for implementing devolution. Go ye back to parliament and do your work, because that is why the people elected you.
Hivi wananchi mnataka tu tax kuku? Unataka tuweke tax kwa ng'ombe? Unataka tuweke tax kwa punda? Tunataka kuomba magavana sababu hatutakubaliana na wao. Maneno ya kutax kuku ili upate pesa kwenda Mombasa, kwenda kujivinjari kule Mombasa, hiyo maneno sisi tumekataa.
A section of members of parliament from Machakos County now say they will collect signatures from Machakos residents to remove Machakos Senator Johnston Mudama from office. Speaking at a political rally in Machakos, the legislators accused the senator for undermining the work and development plans by the Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua. They said political leaders in the county have been behind the governor's development plans, but the senator is focusing on ensuring the development plans do not prosper. The MPs say Mudama's move to block the construction of the Machakos city, which was dismissed by the court, was political.
Kofia ambazo sio rasmi tutoe ili tuonyeshe.
On 3 occasions he has tried to stop development. He went to the court to stop development of Machakos city. The court overruled him. He has been on the record to undermine our governor and his county government. We want to send a warning. As leaders of Machakos County, we are not going to watch business as usual.
Hiyo tumeangalia sisi tukaona hatuwezi kubali mtu mmoja kwa kaunti mzima. Kwa vile kama MCAs wote wako pamoja, wako behind the governor, all the ministers are behind the governor, all the members of parliament are behind the governor. Mtu mmoja akili yake peke yake aliwezekani kamwe kutuharibia usalama na maendeleo ambaye iko Machakos County.
Moving on, Deputy President William Ruto's plane that was bound for Kakamega was yesterday diverted to Kisumu International Airport after authorities raised questions over the safety of the facility after takeoff. Kenya Airports Authority Chief Lucy Mbugua later clarified that a notice temporarily barring usage of the Kakamega airstrip that had recently undergone refurbishment had not been lifted in time, but the facility was ready for use in late December. Ruto was headed to Vihiga MP Yusuf Chanzu's homecoming celebrations.
How are you, my friend?
Nyeri has for a long time lagged behind in development, but all this is about to change with the construction of a mall. The first of its kind in Nyeri town, Madiba Mall, will be completed in about 18 months and expected to change the face of Nyeri in the economic front. During the groundbreaking ceremony, local leaders decried what they called Chinese invasion into the construction sector. They called on the government to have confidence in local contractors by awarding them construction tenders.
Nyeri town has been the headquarters for what was known as the Central Province, comprising of the 10 districts Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Kiambu, Murang'a and Nyandarua. But on matters development, Nyeri has trudged on a tad too slowly, yet it harbors huge economic potential.
Nyeri imekuwa ni town ambayo imefungika kiasi, despite kuwa the provincial headquarters. Hata juzi tumekuwa downgraded kutoka kwa municipality tukakuja sasa ni township.
But the construction of a mall, Madiba Mall in Nyeri town, is expected to change the face of business in the area. Madiba Mall, set on a piece of land measuring slightly over an acre of land, 2 basement floors, 5 upper floors and a rooftop swimming pool, is expected to bring an economic windfall for the residents of Nyeri. The mall, owned by a local businessman, will also house the Chumi supermarket. The region has the potential to flourish in the tourism sector, especially as Nyeri is the home of the Scouts movement founder Baden Powell. It is where Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi hails from, and it is where Queen Elizabeth ascended to power.
These are areas that have historical significance, including the famous caves where the Mau Mau struggle was carried out.
Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed, the Principal Secretary for Trade and Tourism, was the guest of honor and read a speech on behalf of Cabinet Secretary Phyllis Kandie.
Counties are the new superhighways for opportunities. They offer genuine chance for those who are willing to venture to do something special by getting to the ground floor of the emerging vibrant economies and build upwards.
Uchumi does not import things. We buy from you as a Kenyan.
The leaders said a united front was pertinent in ensuring that an enabling environment was available for growth.
What is lacking is land. We need to put up very big estates.
Pia nimkumbushe katika hiyo 700 million kama women rep asisahau kutupatia 30%, ile 1/3.
Being an agricultural zone, these new developments will prosper Nyeri and its environs further. Carol Derry for KTN in Nyeri.
Now, Africa is mourning one of her greatest journalists in the last decade. BBC's Ghanaian presenter Komla Dumor is dead. Dumor's sudden death at his London home has shocked the continent, with Ghana's president leading his country in paying tribute to the 41-year-old journalist. Ashimwelu reports.
Have Danny Green, who scored 24 three-pointers in this series.
A leading light in African journalism, a talented presenter, a man of the people with an infectious sense of humor. Tributes continue to flow in as Africa mourns the death of the enthusiastic BBC presenter Komla Dumor.
Komla Dumor from Peter and the Heat, the rest of the team. There you go.
The sudden death of the 41-year-old Ghanaian was announced Saturday evening, shocking his fans from all over the world. Dumor is said to have suffered a cardiac arrest in his London home. The broadcast journalist was a presenter with BBC World News TV and is famous for his Focus on Africa show that airs live from London. Following a successful decade-long career in Ghana's media, Dumor joined the BBC in 2007. He has contributed greatly in telling the African story with no bias or exaggeration.
The role of journalists, especially on the continent, is to report accurately, to tell the truth, and to cover the stories that are not on the beaten path. I mean, there's so many issues out there on the continent that need to be addressed, whether it's Ghana, Nigeria, Zambia, or Malawi.
Komla Dumor covered some of the biggest stories in Africa, including the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, the devastating Westgate Mall siege in Kenya in September 2013, as well as the death of iconic anti-apartheid icon Nelson Mandela.
Arise, O compatriot.
Dumor was not shy of sharing his experiences and knowledge on African journalism. He participated in the TEDx program where he gave an inspiring talk on the African story and his passion for unparalleled coverage of Africa.
Now look, I'm incredibly proud to be a Ghanaian. My grandfather composed Ghana's national anthem. But in 1957, when Nkrumah said to my grandfather, who was a music teacher at the time, that we need a new national anthem, my grandfather wrote Ghana's national anthem.
He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Psychology from the University of Ghana and a Master's in Public Administration from Harvard University. He is survived by his wife, Kwansema Dumor, and their 3 children. Ashemwilu, KTN Live at 1.
Well, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Moving on, once a powerful economic hub for Western Kenya, the sinking town of Webuye is yet to stabilize. The closure of Webuye Pan Paper Mills brought things to a standstill, and ever since, promises to revive operations have remained just that. KTN's Francis Otomwa with the rest of that story.
Perched deep in a valley, this is the sleepy town of Webuye, slowly creeping out of economic turmoil. Although light activities are taking place, the small town is not as active as it used to be 3 years ago. The closure of Webuye Pan Paper Mills in February 2009 threw the town into disarray, and the economy of Western suffered in what is likened to be a case of throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Thousands of families affected by the shutdown are still reeling from the experience, and the news that the farm will reopen doors has been given a lukewarm reception. Reason being, the discussion has been making rounds in the public domain in the past 3 years, with nothing coming to fruition.
Shughuli ya Pan Paper should not be mambo ya kutumia kisiasa. Waangalie kimakini kwa hali ambayo kwamba ni mzuri, na wafikirie kwa roho ya kibinadamu, na wafikirie watu wa Pan Paper ama mfanyakazi ambaye kwamba alikuwa anafanya kazi katika kiwanda kile atapata kazi namna gani.
And they have no food. Their children have dropped out of school, all of them, including mine. Surprising after consulting the president of this country. I want him to hear.
The talk about reawakening the factory has once again resurfaced, and fronting the discussion is Deputy President William Ruto. During a visit to Bumula in December last year, this was his powerful message of a factory that opened doors 40 years ago.
Liwe liwalo, juu chini, kushoto kulia, mbele nyuma, tutafute namna mpaka kampuni ya Pan Paper ifanye kazi. Na tutashirikiana na county government ya ndugu yetu Lusaka. Tutafute namna mpaka hiyo kampuni ifanye kazi.
Bungoma Governor Ken Lusaka and Webuye East MP Alfred Sambu allude to the fact that the bidding process for the factory has kicked off in earnest, a process closely monitored by both the county and national government. Taking center stage also has been the debate on whether to maintain it as a paper-making farm or replace it with a fertilizer manufacturing plant.
But of course there's a lot of progress that has been made, and sometime before the end of this month we're expecting that would have concluded the discussions that are going on, the issue of the lenders, and then the bidders who have put in something, and of course the bidder, those who have put in their bids. This will be looked at between the national government and the county government. So the county government is going to be completely involved in what is going there. But the ultimate solution is, of course, to get a strategic partner who can then put back Pan Paper into its into operation, and if it doesn't produce paper, what is the other alternative that can be put in place
around, and people also involved in some petty petty crimes here and there because of poverty. It has affected education. It has affected families here and there. So coming up, reopening of Pan Paper will stimulate further growth in the area. Webuye as a town will come up. There will be a lot more activities coming up and so on. Crimes that you see here will be a thing of the past.
Restoration of operations will not be a walk in the park, though, as some machines at the factory have since sunk beyond repair due to lack of maintenance or have been vandalized. Trade has also since gone down and the crime wave has shot up. Law enforcers attribute this to the effects of joblessness.
Na kwa wakati huu hata tunajaribu tu hata mtu asifikishe hata 500 mchana moja kwa vile watu ni wachache. Lakini tunaomba Mungu asaidie Pan Paper ifunguliwe.
Omba hii Pan Paper ianze kazi haraka. Ndio makazi iwe mingi na town ya Webuye iendelee.
Politicians have found fodder in the Pan Paper saga, and aspirants use this as a campaign chip year in, year out. Plans to revive the once powerful Voi Paper Mill is sweet music to the ears of the people of Western. But for a discussion that has been making circles in the public sphere in the last many days, the begging question is, will this dream be realized this time around? Francis Ontomwa, KTN, Webuye in Bungoma County.
Moving on to sports now, voting is ongoing at Nyaya National Stadium basketball court, where former African champions Gor Mahia club members seek to elect their leaders after the 2-year term of the present office ended. The election started at 9 a.m. with current club chair Ambrose Russia seeks to retain his position with a strong opposition from Eric Adede. This is the first time Gor has managed to conduct an organized election. Very organized, peaceful and passionate. The turnout speaks for itself. Gor Mahia will embark to the continental campaign next month before resuming the league.
Well, I'm not running in the 2014 elections. I'll not be offering my candidature. But I do hope that at the end of the day, Gor Mahia will have elected good leaders to be able to steer the club to the next level. The current crop of leadership has done a good job, I think, winning the league and a few other titles the last 2 years. So it's time for somebody else to come and also continue the good work that we've been doing.
Well, that's it on KTN Weekend at 1. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Najma Ismail. Enjoy what's left of your weekend.